manuscript. No ma'ams, no mans, more-ish has popped up. And then we have the diddler's mother, Janice. His mother might, just might explain a few things. It actually might make you throw up in your mouth, and some might not. Some of y'all might not even be shocked on this nonsense. There will be timestamps in the comments because this is some juicy shit. So let's just get to. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, like the video, hit that like button, do whatever you have to do, and please remember to hit that subscribe button. So like I mentioned, the diddler was denied bail for a third time by the current judge overseeing this case, and he did it the day before Thanksgiving Eve. And if I'm being honest, I did think this time that the diddler would get out, because this new judge actually was entertaining the nonsense by asking questions like, where would Diddy be residing, and what would the security look like, and all this stuff. And I think Diddy himself thought he was getting out. I think he just knew he was getting out. So can you guys imagine the blow when he got the verdict that he was not going anywhere, that he will be getting canned turkey for Thanksgiving this year? If you're new to my channel, first off, welcome. I appreciate you being here. But if you have no idea why Diddy is behind bars, I suggest you go watch my other 5 or 6 videos I've done on Diddy by now. There's a whole Diddy playlist, so go look for it. But the current judge was actually moved by several factors. Number 1, the current judge wrote on page 1 of the order that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence that no conditions or combinations of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community, aka the other victims or anyone involved in this case. Number 2, the judge also cited that the 2016 videotape of Diddy assaulting Cassie that was published by CNN several months ago, we all know what that video showed. We have to remember that Diddy's lawyers were claiming at first that the video had nothing to do with the freak-offs or codes or whatever. Like, he also had people he would talk to, have them make a three-way phone call, which is actually not allowed. He was also making phone calls to people that were not on his phone list. And he even got busted having his lawyers. Now you have your lawyers doing your nonsense. Even got busted having your lawyers do three-way calls. Like, just a hot mess. And everyone knows he was doing this nonsense to intimidate witnesses. And there has been one recorded phone call that Diddy was talking to his sons in regards to don't believe nothing, don't get sucked into this hype. And also, Diddy was telling his son that it's time to throw out all those pizza boxes. And it's clear that his kids are not wrapped too tight, because his son was like, what pizza boxes? And Diddy was like, the pizza boxes. It's just like, okay. So the judge was like, if you can't follow the rules behind bars, how can I trust you to follow the rules outside in society? And then this is the funniest of it all. There was also another incident that I will summarize real quickly, and the judge also wasn't having it, was questioning him like, before this third bail hearing, the lawyers actually had an emergency hearing stating that Diddy's rights were violated during a raid or lockdown that happened at the MDC. For those who do not know what a raid is, right, that's when the police or COs or whatever, they come and they check out a inmate's cell to make sure that they don't have anything illegal, weapons, cell phones, drugs, whatever. They basically tear up your little cell that you stay in to see if they can find anything. So Diddy is stating that during one of these raids, his rights were violated. Diddy claimed that while they were looking into his cell, the guards opened up a file. He either had a folder, file, or something that had the word legal written on it. And they went through it, or something to that effect. And since the guards had violated Diddy's rights, that his case was probably tampered with, people are after him, blah, 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 blah. Little did the diddler know that in 2024, in some jails and prisons, that before they do a raid or go through your cell, there is another CO, police, I don't know what title you want to call them, right? But there's someone taking pictures of everything, and they do this for this reason here. They take pictures of exactly how they find the cell, right? So when the raid happens, the inmates are removed from their cell. They have to line up on the wall or whatever they have to do, but they are out of their cell. Someone takes a photo before they fuck up your cell. And so that's exactly what happened here. why no one didn't call R. Kelly, because truth be told, R. Kelly was also being held in the MDC. Why didn't no one call him? How come no one called R. Kelly's lawyers? Or, here's a thought, how come no one called Suge Knight? Because Suge Knight has been talking a whole lot. But no, nope. They completely played themselves with the situation. So after all of that, the judge was like, Diddy, you ain't going nowhere. And Diddy was denied for the third time. Now he can go ahead and appeal for a fourth, fifth, or sixth time, right? But after my research and reading what I read, other lawyers online are suggesting that Diddy gives up this whole bail situation and start really focusing on the actual case. I also want to say that there's one thing that the lawyers keep saying that is really annoying me. They're like, well, Diddy needs to get out because, you know, the jail is too noisy and he can't prep for trial. Well, here's the thing. Why is it that it was never an issue for other inmates, but now it's an issue just for Diddy? I don't know. I can't. Also too, I'm also hearing that a few of his lawyers walked out in court or quit because of new evidence coming out that's disturbing that they can't even get him out of. So here's the thing. You know you're in trouble when your lawyer starts getting up and walking out of the courtroom before shit is even done. That is a clear sign that we're in trouble, right? But at the end of the day, I think for his lawyers, they took on a lot more than they can handle. I think they're now realizing that this case is just way too much. And then with this Kim Porter situation, I think some of his lawyers just done had it. Now, real quickly, after the bail hearing, right before they got the verdict, I remember his lawyer coming out and stating that he felt good about what was going on, and he was almost adamant that Diddy would be out for Thanksgiving. But there's one thing that caught my attention. That when the lawyer was talking, he said that once Diddy was released on bail, that they were going to do a gag order on social media. And I was like, uh-oh, what does that mean? And so the lawyer goes on to say that there would be a gag order on all social media platforms that talk about Diddy, the case, the video, the this, the that, and anything that would tarnish his reputation. So at one point I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna have to pull all my Diddy videos because none of them make him look good in any light. But here we are. So that completes part 1 of this video. So this next part, Kim Porter is still trying to talk to us from her grave. So all the new allegations blew up when Courtney Burgess stepped into the spotlight. Now Courtney is a former associate of Diddy's late ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter. And baby, he has dropped a bombshell that could change straight facts. But it's the full 54 pages of Kim's work, and it begins with a chilling message. The book starts off with Kim's promise that if something were to happen to her, she wanted this book to be shared with the world. And Courtney is delivering her truth. Now Diddy's lawyers threw a gag order on Courtney from releasing anything, and people believe it's because Diddy knew exactly what he had. So, from my understanding, this book was actually floating around. People did say that it was on Amazon for a very short period of time. I'm not sure how true that is, because I'm pretty sure many people would have grabbed that book instantly. But then again, it could have been out for a couple of hours, then pulled. I don't know. But there is a gag order right now, and they're still fighting over the rights of this book or the manuscript or whatever. And I think some of the kids are claiming it should be theirs, and I don't even know. But some disturbing claims have resurfaced about the content of Kim's manuscript, and it makes you wonder if this manuscript came to light the day Kim actually passed away in November 2018. It makes you stop and question and think about a lot of things, right? Could you imagine if Diddy knew about this manuscript? And if he got a hold of it, how much damage control he would have to do, how much cleanup and cover up and money he would have to fish out. And then you have to go after other people that she named in the book. Like, this is a whole lot of that manuscript could actually give details on what the diddler had been up to for the last not 1 but 2 decades, if you think about it. Think about how much we would know. Now, there are a couple people who read the manuscript, and for legal reasons, of course, they are not broadcasting it. And they are choosing their words very carefully. But in the manuscript, Kim alleges that Diddy let me rephrase this. In the manuscript, Kim alleges that Diddy hit her with a chair so hard that it landed her in the hospital. She even thought that she might not make it out alive. But that's not all. She also alleges that where she was in the hospital, that Diddy allegedly paid off the entire hospital staff to keep quiet about the incident. You think we're done? We're not. Kim also claims that during a yacht trip, things got so intense that Diddy allegedly broke her nose in a brutal attack. It was so severe that they had to fly her to the nearest hospital, allegedly, to get it fixed. But if you think the mistreatment stopped there, girl, bye. She also described how Diddy controlled every aspect of her life. She alleged that Diddy wired her home, tapped her phone, her cell phone, hired people to spy His name is Gene, spelt Gene. All you gotta put in is Gene, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, baby. Videos after videos after videos after videos. This man does not stop talking, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I feel about Gene, because Gene has a whole lot to say. A whole lot to say, but when it mattered in the moment, he did nothing. He said nothing. But he does confirm about the stalking and his obsession of Diddy wanting to know where Kim was at all times, like he was obsessed. He also witnessed and confirmed a lot of the nasty fights and violence that happened towards Kim. Said he would just shake his head. That's my point. Gene again has so much to say, but when it mattered, you did absolutely nothing. Now Gene is claiming that he's the only one that didn't sign any, NDA, and he can talk and say whatever. But again, you're like a decade too late. And that just goes to show you what money can do. Because he's talking now, but didn't do a damn thing back then. I wonder how people watching Gene feel about Gene right now, knowing that he could have. Anyway. I'm actually sitting here thinking I'm telling Gene to shut up, but Gene, don't shut up, because this makes good content, but shut up, if that makes sense. Anyway, Kim also claims that things took a darker turn when Diddy sought out full custody of their children. See, I can absolutely see Diddy doing that, because he had the money and power to take the kids away from her, knowing damn well that Diddy did not want to be a full-time father. Like, get out of here with that. But she claims things took a dark turn when Diddy tried to sort out full custody. Feeling concerned, Kim supposedly threatened to expose everything, especially Diddy's deepest, darkest secrets. The manuscript also focuses on Diddy's manipulative behavior, forcing her to do things, forcing her to be in certain situations, controlling her, all of it. She was emotionally shattered. And we all got a glimpse of that through Cassie and her lawsuit, unfortunately. This next part, I think many people have thought it or feels it, but there was a bigger claim, the creepiest claim of them all. Kim allegedly suggested that Diddy was somehow involved in the tragic death of Tupac Shakur, a notorious B.I.G. known to Biggie, to others. Now, to sum up what Kim basically said in my own words about Tupac, is that Kim alleges that Diddy allegedly had Tupac unalived because Diddy had to keep the West Coast if you remember one of my other videos, there was a story I was telling you guys that Diddy had Gene, the bodyguard who won't shut the F up, saw Biggie's contract. Now, I don't remember the numbers, whether it was $10,000 or $50,000. I don't exactly remember, but Biggie was only getting like $10,000 or $50,000. That's it, while Diddy was making millions. Well, Biggie found out and wanted to leave Bad Boys. But here's the thing. Biggie was Diddy's biggest money maker. So you really think that Diddy was going to allow Biggie to walk out? Absolutely not. And we all know that celebrities, that their deaths, they're more profitable after death. And we all know that Diddy milked the shit out of Biggie's death. And you know, that West Coast, East Coast, keeping that beef going, that's actually genius if you think about it. Like, it makes sense, right? Because back then in the 90s, that was like the biggest beef, right? Bad Boys and Death Row, right? Suge Knight in them, right? It's just, it was one of those, you know, I remember after Tupac's death that Biggie wanted to do a concert out in LA, and his mother and them were telling him it's not a good idea, you know. But now, doing this research, it makes sense on why Diddy would push Biggie to perform in LA. Like, what the that's like the worst. What? But it makes sense. Now, I know a lot of people think that Jaguar Wright is crazy, but I'm not sure why many people think that, because we have to understand her position back in the day. She was a backup singer. She was a backup singer for a lot of people in the industry, which means a lot of parties, a lot of concerts, a lot of tours, a lot of people. Like, she has witnessed things, been in the cars with people behind stages. Like, I don't know why people think now, could she be lying about certain things? Absolutely, right? But why do people find it so far-fetched that she doesn't know anything when she was like basically like a Wendy Williams in my eyes, right? Wendy Williams, when she first started her talk show, whatever, I mean her radio, right? She was out and about and at the clubs and parties and stuff like that, and she used to do the same thing, tell us stories. And Wendy Williams was telling us about Puff for the longest. But once again, nobody listened. Nobody listened. Nobody listened. I also wonder one thing about Jaguar Wright, right? Because Jaguar Wright has a whole lot to say about a lot of celebrities, but I'm out here wondering, why is she not scared of like what's gonna happen, right? Because you've been talking about a lot of powerful people who have money that could, but that doesn't seem to bother her. Like, girl, she just out here yapping out with the mouth. Like, Jaguar Wright and the bodyguard, ex-bodyguard Gene, these two need mouth plugs because they just can't shut up. Wright has a lot to say about Kim Porter and everything that we discussed, and Jaguar Wright also has a lot to say about Tupac and Biggie's death. I suggest you guys go watch some of that on YouTube, because if you think about what she's saying and her connections and where she was at that prompt moment, I have no idea why people are not listening. But I also don't understand why she won't shut the up. Like, shut up. Just shut the mouth plugs. Mouth plugs. Anyway, we all know how Kim Porter passed away in 2018. Well, we supposedly know how she passed away. Supposedly from pneumonia-like symptoms. But I don't think anyone for a second, especially now, actually believes that nonsense, right? So for those who do not know and maybe was not around during Kim Porter's death, I mean, you guys were around, but maybe you were just too young. I don't know, but let me explain how sketchy that shit was from the jump. The initial coroner report hinted at foul play with toxins found in Kim's Porter body that could mimic pneumonia symptoms. Rumors started circulating about blood on her pillow and a suspicious blood trail from her bedroom to the bathroom, painting a much more sinister picture. What made this even more chilling was the timeline. Kim reportedly made a 911 call at 2:43 a.m., but help did not arrive until hours later, when Kimora Lee Simmons found her around 11 a.m. Again, Kim reportedly called 911 at 2:43 a.m., but help did not arrive until hours later, when Kimora Lee Simmons found her at 11 a.m. What? Now, of course, the delay raises major questions, red flags. It just, all of it, right? Kim's family has been suspicious from the start and allegedly spoken with the FBI about pursuing a wrongful death lawsuit against Diddy, but investigators have reportedly urged them to stay silent to avoid compromising the case. Then there was Kim Porter's ex, Albie Shore. He reportedly faced a horrific ordeal, landing in a coma for 2 months. Albie Shore hasn't publicly disclosed the full story. Reports hint that he was working on a tell-all book detailing the same freak-off lifestyle. So what I mentioned in my other video is anyone that mentioned anything about the freak-offs, something would happen to them. So we have Kim Porter, we have Albie Shore. Remember, we had Kevin Hart, who mentioned something, got into that car accident. Then we had Jamie Foxx, and, mentioned something about the freak-offs. He was in a coma, or was allegedly dying. No one knows about that. He hasn't come out publicly and spoke about that as well. Then we have Andre Harrell. If you don't know who Andre was, he was an American record executive and former rapper. He belonged to a rap group. In 1986, he founded the record label Uptown Records. The label entered a distribution deal with MCA Records and signed artists like Jodeci, Heavy D and the Boys, Mary J. Blige, Guy, Albie Shore, and then Yet, the notorious B.I.G., Diddy, and amongst other people, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this generation will ever understand music like Jodeci and like the old Mary J. Blige. I'll be sure, like 80s, 90s music was something different than the trash we have today. I'm just Jodeci. What? Does any Jodeci, Casey and JoJo? Let me, you know what? Silk. Does anybody remember Silk? Like let me lick you up and down till you say stop. Oh, that was what? Anyway, Andre was later appointed as CEO of Motown from 1995 to 1997. He died on May 7, 2020 at the age of 59. That was Andre's quick background. So Andre being a key figure in the music industry, Andre was reportedly working on a manuscript himself that aimed to expose the industry's darkest secrets, including how powerful figures allegedly use substances and manipulation to control and silence others. It was also set to reveal how Diddy and Clyde Davis helped replace him as an industry heavyweight. But tragically, before he could release the manuscript, Andre was found unalive. According to his ex-partner, he had been suffering from heart problems in the time leading up to his death. Okay. If that's what you say. Now, here comes a good old Gene that won't shut the... He states, that night, before we left Andre's house, Puff told me I did not have to go. I knew that somebody was going to die that night. But once again, Gene, you did absolutely nothing. Just a thought as I'm recording this now, right? I have to wonder, how much does Gene spend on security? I mean, he's gonna need alarms. He's gonna need a whole shitload of ring cams. He's gonna need dogs, like a whole lot of dogs that will attack on sight. The man can't go into public. Like, he's just yappity. He just won't shut up. I swear, like, it's clear that this man has no woman in his life, because there's no way, because any woman by now would have smacked the hell out of him, like, yo, shut the fuck up, stop talking before you get us killed. Jesus Christ. Like, nobody needs to know where Gene lives, because at this point, the man knows too much. Like, Anyway, so to tie up this part of the video, it's clear that Diddy might be tied up to a lot more other celebrity accidents / deaths, allegedly. There are a lot of people that he might have tried to silence, allegedly. So every T channel on YouTube, there's always something new about Diddy, another celebrity, something with their freak-offs. It's just a whole lot of. So I will just keep you guys posted on this. absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. Here's the thing. I've been seeing Diddy's mother a lot more in the media, social media, her going to these court hearings. Girl, be nice. Be nice. Be nice. So, like I said, the streets are talking that she's been part of the freak-offs and that he grew up to be the way he is because of his messed up childhood. And I absolutely also believe that as well. So, word on the street is that his mom, Janice Combs, was an escort, and she would sometimes make Diddy watch her indulge in her own freak-offs when he was just a kid. And if that wasn't bad enough, his father was also the leader of a very notorious gang in Harlem back in the day and had connections with both Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes. His father, let's just say, did gang member stuff and sometimes would unalive people in front of Diddy. So in other words, Diddy is witnessing sexual stuff and very violent stuff at a very young age. And they would do this shit like it was normal, like every other household was doing this nonsense. Now, none of that can excuse Diddy's behavior, but it does make a lot of sense. You have your own mother, again, escorting, doing nasty sexual stuff, and then the father, like, and if you think about it, like, Diddy has the perfect balance between, like, the sexual fetish and that violent fetish outburst, like, he's untouchable type of, you know. Diddy's father passed away at a young age when Diddy was young by, we'll just leave it as gang violence, right? So once the daddy was no longer around, the mother, Janice, had to step up her game. And according to what I understand, again, she had 3 jobs, one of them being an escort, and she would just bring all types of men home. And she would do that quite often, and Diddy would just sit there and watch, and she would just encourage that shit. That being said, this is why many people in the industry, social media, and myself think his relationship with his mom is weird as fuck. It almost reminds me of Norma and Norman Bates. If you don't know who Norma and Norman Bates is, then I have nothing else to discuss. But if you know who Norma and Norman Bates is, no. Yeah, everyone watching this video, I need everyone to make it their business to watch that show, Bates Motel. If you know anything about that horror movie, Psycho, like, I'm not gonna gonna say nothing else, but y'all need to watch Bates Motel. This is giving Bates Motel vibes. No. People have been speculating for a while that Diddy's relationship with his mom goes way further than the regular mother and son relationship. These rumors got even worse after a video went viral of Diddy and his mother, Janice, kissing each other on the lips. The video is circulating everywhere. You can find it. Just type in Diddy kissing mom on lips, or just type in Diddy kissing mom, period. It'll pop up. Like, you cannot miss it. Matter of fact, my thumbnail is what you're looking for in that video. Oh yes, oh yes. And so here's the thing. I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I do not want to offend anybody. Because your kids are your kids. But I just feel as if after a certain age, and I'll leave that age up to you guys because again, I don't want to offend nobody, but after a certain age, I just feel as if kids should not be kissing their parents on the lips, period, the end. And I don't know, like kissing on the forehead, on the cheek, but kissing like on the mouth, like on the actual, like, and these two were like, it was just so weird. The lips were wet, like they didn't mind that. It was a bit much. And like, again, if you kiss your kids on the lips, if it works for you, hey, great. I can't even say if you like it, I love it, because it's an absolute no for me. But I guess like little babies, okay, cool. But what's the cutoff age? Like, can somebody... Okay, anyway, but the video of Diddy and his mother is very cringe-worthy to watch, and it doesn't even stop there. What got people really talking was that Janice had her nails painted white and her toes. I'm not gonna lie, I do not understand the obsession with the white nail polish on nails and toes. I know many like it. Now, if you like it, I love it. That I can say. I don't care, right? It's just nail polish. But the fact that everyone is walking around with the same color and it's just white, no design, just white toes, and I find it boring. I have tried it on myself. I don't care for it. For me, my opinion, it gave me no personality. I don't know. I like to be, creative, but everyone is not the same. But like, I don't get it. And I understand, like, on social media, like, if one person does it and makes it a big deal, then like everyone has to, right? That I understand. But am I the only how you feel about the white nail polish thing. But back to the story. So yeah, what got people talking is that Janice had her nails painted white and her toes. People are claiming that if you have that on, it's only for like, you know, the young people. Because if you remember correctly, in Cassie's lawsuit, she mentioned that during the freak-offs that Diddy made her change her nail polish no matter what she had on. She always had to rock the white nail polish. So I just find it weird that you want your mother to be rocking the same things your girls wear or your sex. I'm not really sure what. I don't. Look. Anyway, the two of them are having a spa day or some nonsense, and they're both into I love you too, baby, no I love you, no I love you more. It's just stop. It's just okay, you love him, you like enough, but the back and forth for a couple seconds was too much for me. And it's the way they looked at one another like they were like a lost. Let me just finish this video because if you have not watched that video, you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So again, they're telling each other how much they love each other. They're kissing each other on the lips. He's showing us how dipped out his mother is. And then he shows the camera of her feet, her hands and feet. It's just, I don't know. And then after he sits there and turns the camera on his mom, and after we see that she's dipped out in this and that in her clothes and everything else, he then turns the camera and says, y'all ain't gonna hate on my mom. Then he goes on to tell us that she's single. Then goes into the story on how him and his mom was discussing about having a reality show. They wanted to have a reality show, a dating reality show for his mother, saying that it would be the funniest show ever, and his mom is crazy, and they both start laughing. But I'm just like, are you out here really trying to pimp out your mom for money? For a show, you're pimping out your mom. Then he goes on to let the world know that his mom knows let me end this video because I'm just not. Anyway, we mentioned Cassie's lawsuit, that she mentioned that she had to wear the nail polish herself. Oh, if you guys have been paying attention, Young Miami also switched up from her usual long, colorful nails to just white. And see, that's my problem. Like, when you have a personality, your personality somewhat comes out on your nails. And so when people were used to her having colorful, different design nails, and she just goes to flat out white, it's just because a lot of this, I'm just not even gonna go over it because these two. Alright, so moving off from that video. Alright, many people believe that Janice is in on this whole freak-off situation and indulging in these freak-offs. She has also been exposed for protecting Diddy and hiding his secrets from over the years. Now we all know by now that Diddy has single-handedly mismanaged and stolen from a lot of his artists under his label. But the one person that has been on his neck for years and has been relentless about it is the rapper Mace. Mace has been trying to tell y'all for years that Diddy is sneaky, but nobody wants to listen. Even Biggie's mother has told us that tight bond that Diddy and Biggie had was all fake. It was just for the public, but there was problems behind. So it's like Diddy has basically fucked all of his artists. But anyway, Janice's mother has been protecting Diddy and hiding his secrets for years. Actually, Mace and Diddy got into it back in 2020 after Mace put Diddy on blast for for only paying him $20,000 for his time at Bad Boy Records, which is why I can't think of Biggie's contract, but it definitely was between $10,000 and $50,000, nothing more than that though, while Diddy was out here making millions. Mace also revealed that he has offered Diddy over $2 million to buy his publishing rights, but Diddy refused this to accept any money unless Mace was able to match up the offer of a certain European investor who was offering way more. During one of Mace's rants, he also revealed that the only person who has receipts on everything is Diddy's mother. According to Mace, Diddy put everything in his mother's name so that just in case shit went south, he will still be good. And the funny thing is, besides Mace, because Mace says all of that, but every other artist has also mentioned that Diddy's mom has more publishing rights to their music than themselves. So given everything that we know and learned, I would not be surprised at the reasoning on why these two are so close the way they are. They have been together since he was like really, really young, doing the absolute she has witnessed and knows all his secrets, I think they just tolerate one another, or they have like this unhealthy bond. I don't know, and that's probably why he goes so hard from his mom, knowing that if his mom flipped the script, he'll be done. I don't know. And if you think about it, Diddy's mom is the only one that's really, and his kids are really batting for Diddy. But remember, like 80% of Diddy's artists themselves actually ended up in jail, right? Landed in jail. And Diddy never helped them, never got them a better lawyer, never put money on their books, never went to go visit, didn't do anything. Matter of fact, a lot of his artists found out that like when they went to jail, Diddy was pulling their music off the shelf, right? So I find it real funny how like now Diddy's the one in prison and no one is batting for him. No one's going to visit him. No one is putting money on his books. Matter of fact, people are now willing to talk and tell their story. It's crazy. And I have a question right here in my notes. Do you think this is the real reason why Diddy never really got married, right? Because think about it. If you have your mama that will accept everything, hide your secrets and all, what more do you need? You don't have to marry no woman. You know, it's just like he's a mama's boy, but like a spoiled, rotten. I can't even think of it. It's like he's a mama's boy, right? It's like all he needs is his mama and his money. Very strange. Interesting, but strange, but true, but interesting. I don't know. So, as I was researching Diddy's mom, guess what I found? Guess what popped up? Yup, the ex-bodyguard gene. The bodyguard that won't shut the up. Once again, Gene has entered the chat room, baby. I swear to God, Gene is going to milk the hell out of this whole situation. And you know what? I think he's the only one that can, because he claims he never signed the NDA, so he can say whatever he wants and nobody can come after him. But I would watch my back if I was you. But Gene's out here spilling more major tea about the bizarre relationship that Diddy had with his mother Janice. Now Gene already let us know that Miss Janice was indeed at some of these freak off parties. But he also claimed that Diddy would sometimes put his hand on his mother and become very aggressive towards her. Like a lot. Especially when he saw Janice talking to another man. So it was like Diddy would get jealous if his mom had a love interest. He would also treat his mom like she was one of his little girlfriends or play toys. And again, according to Gene, he witnessed all of this. Again, didn't do nothing at all, like at all. But many people in that also learned that Jean was one of the first people to speak out on Diddy sinister behavior even before Cassie came out with her lawsuit. And then Jean goes into certain details of when he, different parties and stuff that he has witnessed Diddy and his mother going at it. At this point, I don't even think, And what bothers me is this, like, a lot of people that saw Diddy mistreat his mother, they all coughed it up as him being young. He would grow out of it. He was stressed. He was this. He was that. And it's like, if a man can't even respect his mother, how do you really think this is gonna go in life? No one stopped it. Everyone has a whole lot to say now, but didn't do shit back then. And then he goes into sometimes that people, like during meetings, they will all talk about like how Diddy did this to certain girls and girls he dated. So as grown men, y'all would sit around discussing how this grown man is doing the most, but no one did nothing about it. Like the company, like a lot of people need to go down with Diddy. Because, like there's people out, remember that guy who actually recorded that nasty audio with Diddy and supposedly, Meek Mills. Even then, people were grabbing evidence for their own protection, but no one helped when it was, Anyway, to summarize this, things got bad between Diddy and Janice of Diddy mistreating his mother, so Jean had to step in more and more and more. And as he did that, Janice started to look at Jean a little differently. She was like, "Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, you look, yeah, Daddy, you are so handsome." She wanted him. Maybe it was because it was the only man that would protect her from Diddy. I don't know, but she fell for Jean fast. When Jean did not reciprocate what she got mad, and then it turned into a lot of arguments. And so, but the flirtatiousness between Jean and his mother, Diddy did not like it at all. It was causing feud between Jean and Diddy, and so that actually led to Jean leaving. Now some say Diddy fired Jean. Jean, out of his own mouth, claims that he just couldn't deal with the situation anymore. Things were crazy, things that he saw. The mother did this. He just had it, and he said he actually walked away from everything. So I don't know, but the mother was the reason why everything went to shit. So I don't know, just a hot mess. Everyone in Hollywood is a hot mess. But as always, let me hear your thoughts down below. And as always, I love you guys for watching. Until next time, bye, damn plane.